SpaceX's latest Starlink launch marks yet another significant step in a rapidly evolving era of global connectivity. On October 26, at precisely 5:47 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the company's Falcon 9 rocket ascended from Cape Canaveral, carrying 22 Starlink satellites. This mission is one of many that SpaceX has meticulously executed to build a network capable of delivering high-speed internet to every corner of the world. Each launch brings us closer to a future where internet access is not limited by geography, helping to bridge digital divides across rural and underserved regions globally. The Falcon 9 launch was a remarkable display of SpaceX's ongoing mastery in reusable rocket technology. Just 8 minutes after liftoff, the rocket's first stage successfully landed on the Atlantic drone ship. Just read the instructions, marking the 19th flight and landing for this specific booster and underscoring the importance of reusability in reducing mission costs and frequency. Meanwhile, the second stage continued its journey into low Earth orbit, where the satellites will soon deploy, joining a massive constellation that's already transforming global internet access. SpaceX's Starlink mission goes far beyond typical satellite launches. It is an ambitious venture to create a megaconstellation of satellites, each working in unison to transmit internet signals across vast distances, from bustling cities to isolated islands. This is not a mere technological feat, it's a vision of a connected world where information and opportunity reach everyone equally, regardless of their location. And, with 66 Starlink-specific launches in 2024 alone, SpaceX is setting a relentless pace, already establishing more than 6,400 active satellites and building momentum toward a more inclusive digital future. If you're as captivated by this new space race as we are, subscribe and join us as we continue following these groundbreaking developments. Together, let's explore what this powerful technology means for the future of communication and connection. The Falcon 9 rocket is a symbol of SpaceX's pioneering vision in spaceflight and technology, designed with one revolutionary goal in mind: reusability. Unlike conventional rockets that are used once and discarded, the Falcon 9's first stage can launch, return, and relaunch, significantly cutting costs and opening the door to more frequent missions. This specific booster, which launched the Starlink satellites on October 26, completed its 19th flight and landing, an impressive achievement that highlights how far SpaceX has come in reshaping the economics of space exploration. Imagine the complexities. The rocket blasts off, reaching immense speeds and altitudes, then reverses its course, carefully navigating back to Earth, and lands precisely on a drone ship floating in the ocean. This is engineering at its finest, a spectacle that was once science fiction and now is reality. Landing on the drone ship, just read the instructions. The Falcon 9's first stage showcased precision and control honed through countless tests and innovations. The drone ships themselves, massive, autonomous vessels positioned in the Atlantic, are critical to these missions, making the recovery of the first stage possible even when landing on land isn't an option. Watching a Falcon 9 return from space to land on a platform in the ocean highlights how close we are to making spaceflight routine and reliable. This system of reusability doesn't just save money, it also enables SpaceX to carry out missions with remarkable speed and efficiency, allowing for an ambitious launch schedule that few could have imagined even a decade ago. But this technology serves a greater purpose. It enables a project of unprecedented scale, the Starlink constellation. With each launch, Falcon 9 carries dozens of satellites to low Earth orbit, where they form part of a sprawling network aimed at providing high-speed internet worldwide. This isn't just about putting more satellites in space, it's about building an interconnected system, one that relies on the precision and frequency of launches made possible only through reusable rockets. As more satellites are added, each mission not only strengthens the Starlink network but also deepens our reliance on and access to space itself. This balance between cutting-edge technology and visionary goals underscores why SpaceX has remained at the forefront of the private space sector, leading the charge into a future where space isn't a distant dream but a viable frontier. With this foundation of reusability and precision, the Starlink constellation grows rapidly, offering a model of connectivity that redefines what's possible in our increasingly digital world. As SpaceX presses forward, one launch at a time, we edge closer to a future where our planet becomes more connected, and space becomes a routine part of life on Earth. The Starlink constellation represents a bold new vision for global connectivity, one where access to high-speed internet is no longer tied to cables or limited by physical infrastructure. Instead, a fleet of satellites orbits the Earth, transmitting signals down to receivers on the ground in areas where traditional internet simply cannot reach. This project, envisioned as a megaconstellation, aims to cover the entire globe with internet service, addressing one of the most persistent challenges of the digital age, bridging the connectivity gap. Whether it's rural villages, remote islands, or communities affected by natural disasters, Starlink holds the promise of bringing the world online, making information, education, and opportunity accessible to everyone, everywhere. The growth of the Starlink network has been swift and unrelenting. Each new launch adds dozens of satellites to the constellation, expanding its reach and strengthening its capability. In 2024 alone, SpaceX has launched a staggering 66 Starlink-specific missions, creating a web of satellites now numbering over 6,400 active units. This scale and pace are unprecedented in space technology, underscoring the ambition of a project that reimagines internet infrastructure as something that isn't bound to the limitations of geography. By placing satellites in low Earth orbit, Starlink minimizes latency, providing a connection that rivals, and sometimes surpasses, ground-based options. For people in isolated regions, it could mean the difference between a future of limited possibilities and one where they are connected to the world at large. Starlink isn't just an engineering marvel, it's a powerful catalyst for social and economic change. With connectivity comes new avenues for learning, commerce, and communication. Entire communities can access information that was previously out of reach, and individuals can connect with family, pursue education, or participate in the global economy like never before. Imagine the potential for students in remote areas gaining access to online resources, healthcare providers consulting over video calls in isolated regions, or emergency response teams coordinating disaster relief with real-time data. Starlink transforms what's possible, extending the reach of the internet to places that once seemed inaccessible, redefining connectivity as a universal right rather than a privilege. As the Starlink constellation continues to expand, it paints a picture of a future where the internet's reach is limitless, where every corner of the planet can connect to the wealth of knowledge and resources available online. Each satellite launch brings us closer to realizing this vision, where technology and ingenuity converge to create a truly global network of opportunity and connection. While the Starlink constellation offers vast potential, it also raises significant challenges and concerns that can't be ignored. As thousands of satellites fill the sky, astronomers have voiced growing concerns about their impact on observations and research. Starlink satellites, especially during certain phases of their orbit, reflect sunlight, creating bright streaks across telescopic images and interfering with the visibility of distant stars and galaxies. For a field that relies on clear, unobstructed views of the cosmos, the Starlink network poses a fundamental disruption to our ability to study the universe. These satellites can appear brighter than many stars themselves, prompting calls from the scientific community for solutions to reduce the interference and protect the skies for research. The issue extends beyond visibility. The sheer number of satellites in low Earth orbit adds to an increasingly crowded space environment. With over 6,400 Starlink units in orbit and counting, the risk of collisions and space debris grows. Each satellite, if damaged or out of control, could create a cascade of debris that endangers other spacecraft, satellites, and even the International Space Station. SpaceX has responded by designing their satellites to deorbit at the end of their lifespan, but the rapid accumulation of objects in space still presents a pressing challenge for long-term sustainability. The potential for a Kessler syndrome scenario, where collisions lead to an escalating chain reaction of debris, underscores the need for comprehensive guidelines and cooperative management of orbital traffic. Additionally, there are environmental concerns tied to the ongoing launch schedule. Reusable rockets like the Falcon 9 mitigate some environmental impact, but launching hundreds of satellites annually still consumes significant resources. There's also the question of how sustainable it is to maintain and replace thousands of satellites over time, as each unit has a limited lifespan. SpaceX has introduced initiatives to reduce satellite brightness and explore environmentally conscious practices, yet the environmental footprint of such a massive undertaking remains a point of contention. In response to these concerns, SpaceX has taken steps to address the impact of its growing satellite network. Newer Starlink models come equipped with sunshades to reduce reflectivity and are placed in orbits that allow them to deorbit more easily. However, as the constellation expands, the dialogue around space responsibility and environmental stewardship becomes more critical. The Starlink project highlights the tension between rapid technological progress and the need for sustainable practices, illustrating that while the benefits of global connectivity are transformative, they come with a responsibility to protect both Earth's environment and the vast, shared frontier of space. Looking to the future, Starlink isn't just about internet access, it's a bold step toward a fully interconnected world, where geographic isolation no longer means digital isolation. As SpaceX launches more satellites, they're pushing the boundaries of what global connectivity can achieve. Starlink's impact goes beyond individual users, it reshapes industries, enhances education, supports emergency response, and provides unprecedented access to information, all by leveraging the vast potential of space. This marks a shift toward a world where opportunities become accessible to communities worldwide, where digital innovation reaches new frontiers, and where space itself becomes a network for human progress. Yet, this evolution also comes with a need for balance. Expanding our reach into the cosmos calls us to steward our actions wisely, minimizing the impact on both the environment and the space around Earth. The promise of Starlink and projects like it rests not only on their technological achievements but also on the measures taken to responsibly manage space, keeping it open for scientific discovery and sustainable growth. If done right, the constellation's legacy could reflect more than just satellites in orbit, it could reflect a commitment to connecting humanity thoughtfully and sustainably. Starlink's journey reminds us of the potential locked within our own skies. With every satellite launch, we get closer to a world that's more connected, more informed, and more resilient. To stay informed on how this technology transforms our world and expands the reach of human connection, subscribe and follow us as we continue exploring these advances. Together, let's witness the rise of a global network that is not only powerful but also mindful of the stars above and the world below.